While the Klingon bird of prey was perhaps the most iconic class of Klingon starship, the Imperial Defense Fleet of the Klingon Empire also made extensive use of larger and more powerful cruisers. During the 24th century, a staple of the Klingon fleet was the Vor'cha-class Attack Cruiser, a powerful heavy cruiser that saw action in many battles. The Vor'cha combined the heavy firepower of the Klingons' larger starships with the speed and agility of the bird of prey, a truly deadly combination that made these starships a force to be reckoned with. In this video, we'll be taking a closer look at the technical specifications and history of this formidable capital ship. Welcome to Trek Central, I'm your host, Captain Jack. If you want to keep up to date on all the latest Star Trek news, lore and more, then make sure to hit that subscribe button to never miss a video from the team here at Trek Central. We're enjoying making these Star Trek videos, and we hope you are too. If you want to support their development, check out our Patreon via the link below. Any support is greatly appreciated. As always, please let us know your thoughts in the comment section below, because if you're talking about the Star Trek universe, then we want to hear about it. Okay? Engage. Oh, wait, but before we do, what would you name a Klingon starship? Let us know in the comments, because I'm curious. We usually ask about Starfleet starships. Let's do Klingon names this time. Good luck, get commenting. I like the ones I actually like. Okay, engage. The Vor'cha-class Attack Cruiser was designed in the mid-24th century as a replacement for the Klingon fleet's aging 23rd century K't'inga-class cruisers. They were made for the same role as the older K't'inga, acting as a heavy cruiser and pursuit ship, but they were designed with more advanced technology acquired through trades with the Federation. Vor'cha-class attack cruisers were manufactured at the Kronos Orbital Factory base, and the first ships of the class were launched in 2362. Originally, Vor'cha-class cruisers were restricted to the use of the Klingon Chancellor and other high-ranking Imperial officials. By 2369, however, they had entered general use in the Klingon fleet. Classified as a heavy attack cruiser, according to the Deep Space Nine technical manual, the Vor'cha-class attack cruiser was one of the largest ships in the Klingon fleet in the 2360s, much larger than a contemporary bird of prey. The Vor'cha measured at 481.32 meters long, 341.76 meters wide, and 106.87 meters tall. Oh, and it had a mass of over 2 million metric tons. The cruiser's silhouette was similar to those of a Klingon bird of prey, with a head section connected to the larger main hull by a thin neck, and with a long, downswept wings protruding from the main hull. However, the Vor'cha had a much blockier design aesthetic than the bird of prey. Its neck and main hull were topped by squat towers, and it featured conventional warp nacelles at the tips of its wings. The Vor'cha-class attack cruiser was a very durable ship, with an armoured hull made of duranium alloy and powerful deflector shields. The cruiser's aft section contained the ship's reactor, which was located on Deck 26, as well as many other vital systems. Radiator baffles in the aft section's dorsal exterior, at the base of the cruiser's wings, helped keep these systems from overheating, even when pushed to their limits. Located along the ventral hull were the cruiser's two impulse engines, which were quite powerful, making the Vor'cha much faster and more manoeuvrable than its size would suggest. While it wasn't as agile as the bird of prey, the Vor'cha could still fly circles around most ships of a similar size, allowing its crew to make use of traditional Klingon fast attack tactics. The Vor'cha also came equipped with a standard matter-antimatter warp drive. The warp core itself was buried within the aft section of the hull, accessible from Deck 26, while the ship's warp coils were housed in blocky nacelles on the ends of the cruiser's wings. Thanks to an exchange of technology between the Federation and the Klingons, following the Kittim Accords of 2293, the warp nacelles of the Vor'cha-class attack cruisers actually incorporated Federation technology, including the Federation Buzzard collectors and much more advanced warp coils. As a result, the Vor'cha was able to achieve a top warp speed of warp 9.6. Compared to the cramped and unrefined bird of prey, the interior of the Vor'cha-class attack cruiser was spacious and clean, although crew areas still had a Spartan design and dim lighting choice. The Vor'cha had at least 26 decks, and, among other facilities, it contained an armory on the upper decks, main engineering on Deck 26, a ready room, and a computer access room. Alongside standard crew quarters, Vor'cha cruisers had a few larger, more spacious cabins for visiting dignitaries. The Vor'cha cruiser had two bridges, a flying bridge, which was located within a blocky module atop the cruiser's neck, and the main bridge, which was located atop the cruiser's forked head. The main bridge was similar to most other Klingon bridge designs, with a view screen on the forward bulkhead, a captain's chair in the centre of the room, and crew stations along the aft walls. The captain's chair of a Vor'cha-class Attack Cruiser was located in front of all the cruise stations, demonstrating the trust the ship's captain placed in their crew. Speaking of the crew of a Vor'cha-class Attack Cruiser numbered at 1,900 personnel in total. Like all contemporary Klingon warships, the Vor'cha-class Attack Cruiser was equipped with a cloaking device. These rendered the ship invisible to the naked eye, providing Klingon cruisers with an incredible tactical advantage over their enemies. However, Klingon cloaking devices did have drawbacks. The cruisers couldn't fire their weapons or raise their shields while cloaked, and when they decloaked, there was a tiny window of a few seconds in which we would be unshielded and vulnerable. The heavy armor and exceptional firepower of a Vor'cha, however, meant that this wasn't really too much of a concern most of the time. The Vor'cha was heavily armed, even for a Klingon ship, boasting a single powerful main disruptor, 18 ordinary disruptor cannons, and 3 torpedo launchers. The main disruptor was located at the bow of the ship, below the bridge and between the prongs of the cruiser's head. This fearsome weapon could pulverize small capital ships in naval combat and destroy subterranean fortresses in orbital bombardments, and it could fire both solid and intermittent beams. The cruiser's other standard disruptors were spread across the ship, with the largest concentration of them being on the ship's dorsal weapons platform, an arrowhead-shaped module atop the cruiser's aft section. The Vor'cha's torpedo tubes primarily fired photon torpedoes, and the cruiser had at least 1 forward and 1 aft torpedo launcher. The Vor'cha-class Attack Cruiser was a versatile and highly effective capital ship, combining the armament and durability of a heavy cruiser with the agility, speed, and cloaking abilities of smaller Klingon vessels. On the one hand, it could serve as the core of a Klingon fleet group during pitched ship-to-ship battles, or bombard groundside targets from orbit. On the other, it could carry out patrol duties, chase down enemy vessels, and stage ambushes. During the 2360s, the Vor'cha was the most powerful class of a starship in the Klingon Empire, and it was used as a flagship by the most high-ranking Klingon leaders, including several chancellors of the Empire. By 2369, it had entered a more general use in the Klingon fleet, and a few years later, the Klingons began deploying newer, larger, and more powerful command ships to fill the Vor'cha's old niche. But the Vor'cha continued to see use as a frontline cruiser for decades to come, even into the early 20th century. The Federation's first encounter with the Vor'cha was in 2367, shortly before the outbreak of the Klingon Civil War, in which Vor'cha cruisers served as flagships. Future Chancellor Gowron commanded his forces from the Vor'cha-class Attack Cruiser IKS Bortas, and shortly before the war, Chancellor Kempek used the Vor'cha cruiser as his flagship as well. During the 2370s, the Vor'cha saw extensive use in the Klingon-Cardassian War, the Klingon Federation War, and finally, the Dominion War. During the Klingon-Cardassian War, Vor'cha cruisers played a major role in the first Battle of Deep Space Nine, and in mining a perimeter of Bajoran space. During the Dominion War, Vor'cha cruisers participated in almost every major battle, including Operation Return, the First Battle of Chintoka, and the Battle of Cardassia. The Vor'cha class seems to have peaked during the Dominion War, but it did continue to see use for decades to come. In an alternate future, the class was still in use even in the 26th century, in which the Klingon Empire dispatched at least 1 Vor'cha to battle the Spear Builders alongside Starfleet. The Vor'cha-class Attack Cruiser was the first Klingon starship designed for the next generation, which had previously gone by using old Klingon designs from the original series films, such as the Bird of Prey and the Katinga Cruiser. But for the Season 4 episode Reunion, a new ship was needed to serve as the Klingon Chancellor's flagship, and it fell to senior illustrator Rick Sternbach to design it. Sternbach's design process was heavily influenced by what he imagined the in-universe history of the cruiser to be. From the start, he intended it to be updated, a 24th century take on the Katinga, and because of his clear vision, even his early sketches bear a striking resemblance to the finished Vor'cha cruiser, with the ship's general shape, canted wing-mounted warp nacelles, dorsal weapons tower, and forked head showing up early on. Alongside extensive inspiration from the Katinga, Sternbach incorporated a few elements from the Bird of Prey, such as the dorsal radiator grills. Since the Klingons of the next generation were allies of the Federation, Sternbach also made sure that the design of the Vor'cha reflected this. Federation design elements are most evident in the look of the warp nacelles, but hints of the Starfleet aesthetic are also present in the impulse engines and colour scheme. The Vor'cha was also covered in lots of fine greebling, including heavy armor plating and visible torpedo launchers, as this made it much easier to light studio models for VFX shots. Interestingly, Sternbach designed a few parts of the Vor'cha cruiser to be modular or detachable. The flying bridge section on top of the ship's neck was supposed to be able to eject, mirroring the source of separation capability of Starfleet vessels like the Galaxy class. Oh, and the head of the ship was supposed to come in several variants. The variant seen on screen featured a powerful disruptor set between two prongs, which Sternbach intended to be focusing fixtures. The head was also meant to be fully detachable, and when detached, it would function as an autonomous weapons pod. Neither of these features were ever seen on screen or confirmed in canon sources, but it's nonetheless a distinctly cool concept. Additionally, Sternbach designed a few variant head modules that could replace the standard one in certain battle conditions. One had a flat hammerhead design, with armoured wings and a forward cannon, while another was a trapezoidal, thicker, and studded with multiple standard disruptor emitters. This third head design was meant to evoke the original series D7 Cruiser. For its appearances in the Next Generation and early Deep Space Nine, the Vor'cha was represented by a practical model built by the late Greg Jean and David Merriman. Unusually, the model was built to scale with a model of the Enterprise D. It was eventually replaced with a CGI model built by Trevor Pierce at Foundation Imaging for Deep Space Nine's 6th season. This CGI asset went on to be used for the rest of the series, and also made brief appearances in Star Trek Voyager and Star Trek Enterprise. So that's a look at the Vor'cha-class Attack Cruiser, the Fist of the Klingon Empire. If you want to keep up to date on the latest Star Trek news, lore, and more, then make sure to hit that subscribe button to never miss a video from the team here at Trek Central. You can also follow us on social media or join our community Discord server. Don't forget, if you'd like to support the team here at Trek Central and keep these videos coming, consider checking our Patreon and YouTube memberships via the links below. For now, I've been Captain Jack, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Live long and prosper, my friends. Goodbye.